Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What a lovely start to kickstart this session after the lunch. So thank you, Ali. That was wonderful, very energizing. And I want to thank everybody for the attendance. Indeed, it was really exciting to see and hear out the panelists and the talks this morning. Really insightful. And I hope this continues, and I'm sure this continues also on the session just now. I want to thank TMS, Trevor, Ammar, and the team for inviting me once again to this year's conference, but also for the professional setup and support and organization. So a sincere thank you. So my name is Abdullah Al-Abri. I come predominantly from the oil and gas sector, so I work in the energy sector for most of my professional life, in the Gulf, but also outside the Gulf. Recently I joined, and that is already a year ago, I joined SOHAR Port and Freezone as the Vice President of Sustainability. So really overlooking at the sustainability aspects of the port and the free zone as the biggest industrial cluster in Oman and one of the biggest in the GCC. So what does energy means for our growth, and how can we start decoupling in a way from the conventional energy to that of the new energies, and what that means to our businesses. So I've got a few slides to showcase. So SOHAR Port and Freezone, our vision is really bold. We want to be a front runner in innovation and sustainable development. So that's the way we see ourselves. That's the way we position ourselves into the future. Leader in innovation and sustainable development. And it's clearly reflected in our values that are so much customer-centric, that observes the integrity, but also the continuous improvement. That's the way we see ourselves, and I reflect some of those in the presentation and the slides to come. So what we are doing in SOHAR Port and Freezone, as I said, it's a really sizable industrial cluster in Oman. It is responsible for, it's a key gateway for the products that are coming to Oman, but also that are exported from Oman to the world. We are so much connected to the Far East, to Central Asia, but also to Europe and many other parts of the world. We're really very much industrial, so not so much of a transshipment, but very much industrial cluster, keen to attract and build integrated clusters in very specific value chains. And for one, it's the metals cluster, petrochemicals, food, and logistics. Those are the main four clusters, or at least historically, the four main clusters that we've been focusing on and extending the value chain as we move on with time. So for example, for the metal clusters, we've got tens of companies residing in the port, operating and making business in the port, and some of them in the free zone. And now we're extending the value chain further downstream, or very extreme downstream, and then we're also going to the upstream, wherein we really integrate with the mining companies in Oman to get the minerals and then start processing the minerals for them to be used in the metals cluster. More recently, we're really focusing so much on attracting clean technologies or building clean technology manufacturing cluster. That's the way we are really positioning ourselves, and that's one of the big moves that we are taking into the future. So building clean technology manufacturing as something really contestable, something unique in the region. And we believe that we've taken some bold steps into the game. We've got the first polysilicon manufacturing facility in the Middle East now establishing in SOHAR. It will be commissioned in the next 2 months. It's a $1.6 billion investment, and that would start the value chain for solar panel manufacturing. We've also signed up, and the execution is in progress as we speak, for the establishment of the PV panel manufacturing. So we've got the polysilicon manufacturing, we've got the PV manufacturing. What remains for the value chain is ingots and wafers, and we are really advancing the discussions with investors. With that, we believe we would be able to complete the value chain by the beginning of next year for the solar, and we're really aggressively moving to also localize and bring some of the value chains for wind and hydrogen. So that's one of the positioning that we are taking. We're also focusing so much on getting renewables to the port and the free zone. We understand this is part of the competitiveness that we need to really help our tenants and our stakeholders have, so that they can move into the future fairly smoothly. So we've got already some projects in the ground as we speak. We've got renewables connected to some of the industries in the port and the free zone. We're already using biofuels. So biofuels is already, we're switching the petroleum diesel that we're using for the tugboats, and we're currently using biofuels as we speak. We intend to really offer this to the visiting vessels moving into the future. We're also establishing biofuel value chain in SOHAR Port and Freezone. So getting all the slaughterhouse waste and the organic waste into the free zone, whereby we can also start generating and manufacturing the biofuel that we need to use for ourselves, but also offer it to the wide stakeholders. So moving so much into the clean fuels, renewables in place, and this is so much based, and this is to answer the question this morning, and how do we balance between economics and what makes things viable, and of course the interest from off-takers. We believe that renewables, we're starting with energy and resource efficiency, it's already in the money, renewables is already in the money, and then biofuels is already in the money. So yes, CCUS could be kind of needs a bit of a push or a bit of a stakeholder integration, and also for hydrogen, but the remaining is already in the money. So these are some of the things we are doing. We've signed up with a company to establish a shore power project in the port, wherein ships, while they are docking can connect to the grid. So shore power project will be in the port. We're establishing an LNG bunkering facility in SOHAR Port. It's a $1.4 billion of investments, joint venture between TotalEnergies and OQ, our integrated energy company. That will be commissioned 2028. So work is in progress. And of course, we've also have the flow meters also connected in our port. So this is the positioning. And of course, we are not leaving innovation behind. We continue to innovate. We're really plugging in AI, and I must say Python-enabled AI to really explore the opportunities of how can we integrate white hydrogen, because Oman is one of those potential places for white hydrogen. So we're using AI to see how could that work out for a major port like SOHAR and what it means for the facilities and the infrastructure that we have in the ground. We've got the GeoHub, which is one platform that says the single truth to everybody. So when the vessels are coming, then they'll be logged in the platform. And of course, everything from the arrivals to the berth, to the tags, to the energy flows, everything in one single place. So that cuts across a lot of emails and email exchanges. No need for emails, everything is there. So if the estimated time of arrival changes, then it's just everything gets updated without sending so many emails or so many phone calls. Everything, and that screen is seen by everybody. We continue to optimize our synergies and energy flows and energy consumption across the value chains. And that provides also competitiveness and reduces the cost that is reflected in the bills of the stakeholders, but also reduce and optimizes the energy flows across. How do we build the low carbon maritime ecosystem? Is that we want to start small, but start small and scale up fast. That's the way we approach things. And I said about the biofuels, we started small, so 5% blending of the biofuels. We went to 10% blending, we went to 20% blending, and then we are moving on as we speak. So that's the way. We start small, structured, controlled, and then we scale up fast. That's the way we do it. So we're starting with the biofuels, and then we move into LNG, as I said, 2028 it will be commissioned. Things will be offered for the vessels. We believe it's a value proposition, and we intend to really build on for the e-methanol readiness. After all, we believe that the world will still need a lot of molecules and electrons. Estimations from the IEA, IRENA, and many other organizations that the world will need 50% electrons by 2050 and another 50 molecules. So there will be a lot of need for the molecules. And this is where we are really positioning ourselves. So that's everything in line with the IMO regulations and the world aspirations. Infrastructure sequences, of course, shared jetty options, shared jetty, for example, manifolds. This is one way that we approach and optimize our resources, but also modular storage, moving on to the renewable energy and the battery energy system that will be needed for the port. The last slide is there is a lot of opportunities that we really intend to explore. It's part of the partnership, it's part of the cooperation. We see SOHAR as an open access innovation lab wherein new ideas new thinking, new prospects come in, converge for the proposition of SOHAR, but also for the proposition of Oman, the region, and the global community. With that, I thank you all.